she's symbolically seduced while her friends watch and applaud. Again, she is being light-heartedly punished for deserting her female gang. In Middle Eastern societies, on the days just before the wedding, instead of humiliation, there's beautification. This young bride is ritually unveiled in front of her women companions. Because this makes her vulnerable, she wears a sprig of basil, seen as a holy plant that will ward off evil. Her hands are ornately decorated with a special black paint. The specific patterns used are thought to have protective powers that will shield the bride from the evil spirits which, it's believed, will be attracted by her radiant happiness on her wedding day. These exquisite patterns will also help the bride to look her most alluring for the moment when her husband will unveil her and see her for the very first time. The man must also undergo special preparations to mark this crucial rite of passage. Here in Greece, the groom is ritually shaved as his relatives and male friends sing a lament to mourn his departure from his family home. The Greek bride is having her face painted to look even more feminine. But here again, there's a sadness in the air as she too prepares to leave her family home for the first time. The groom is ritually dressed. He says his farewells to his father and mother. As he prepares to cross a threshold both physically and mentally, it's a painful moment both for the man and for his parents. A cross with apples on it is carried in procession to the church, yet another way of wishing the couple a fruitful marriage. The whole village turns out to escort the groom from his home to the church, where he'll undergo the most important rite of passage of his life. The couple are ceremonially joined together by the placing of white crowns on their heads. By a curious sleight of hand, the crowns appear to be exchanged, but if you watch closely, you'll see that they end up where they began. So, although the couple are merging, their separate male and female identities are retained. Rice and sugar-coated almonds are thrown yet again to encourage fertility. Still wearing their crowns, the bride and groom are now led in a circle 3 times. They're circling, symbolizing the eternity of the marriage bond. back at the groom's house, the bride breaks a plate to mark another rite of passage, the impending loss of her virginity and the breaking of her maidenhead. The groom's mother feeds them honey, traditionally thought to be an aphrodisiac, to further increase their chances of a fertile marriage. It's the use of honey in this way that elsewhere gave rise to the idea of the honeymoon. The husband and wife now publicly display their new status by dancing in the village square, watched by the whole community. The pair bonding process is now complete, and everyone knows that this young male and this young female are no longer available to other interested parties. One of the effects of the pair bond is to isolate the couple from the rest of society. The friendship ties from the juvenile period are very often broken. The family unit turns in on itself. But after the children have been reared, this isolation is counteracted by the arrival of a second wave of all-male or all-female activities. Males strengthen their friendships through feats of endurance, such as this rowing regatta in Malta. It's almost as though the gangs of school days had resurfaced in a mature form. In the United States, this desire to return to the one-sex groups of childhood takes some dramatic forms. This huge gathering of men in California has assembled in a sports stadium, not to play baseball, but to make solemn promises to one another. They're members of a fast-growing organization, the Promise Keepers. Participants sign a list of 7 promises, including pledges to maintain sexual fidelity and build a strong marriage. Although women are not technically banned, none venture into this strictly male domain.
Let's say it together. Who's the name above all names? Here it is, chapter 1, verse 19. And I can just say it in my heart to you. My dear brothers, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry.
Although expressing religious faith is the official reason for these men coming together, one can't help feeling that the deeper reward they gain from such events as this is the comforting sensation of belonging to a large group of like-minded males, an artificially recreated gang of close friends of the kind they each knew in childhood.